The crystalline halls of the Valorian Imperial Palace stretched endlessly, their bioluminescent walls pulsing with the rhythm of 1,000 alien hearts. Mia clutched her swollen belly as she walked through the servants' corridor, her human frame small and fragile compared to the towering Valorian guards who watched her with their 4 eyes gleaming in the dim light. She had been brought to Valoria Prime 3 years ago as part of the Human Integration Program, a diplomatic effort after Earth had narrowly avoided annihilation during the First Contact War. Humans were considered a curiosity in the galactic empire, weak, short-lived, but strangely adaptable. Mia had been assigned to the Imperial household as a maid, a position that had seemed like an honor until it became her prison. Emperor Leo Zarthus stood 7 feet tall, his iridescent skin shifting between deep purples and blues depending on his mood. He was known across 12 star systems as a ruthless leader, a military genius who had expanded the Valorian Empire through conquest and cunning. But in the quiet moments between state affairs, he had found something unexpected in his human maid: companionship. Their affair had been brief and forbidden. Valorian law strictly prohibited crossbreeding with lesser species, a eugenic policy that had kept their bloodline pure for millennia. When Mia discovered she was pregnant, she had gone to Leo in private, her voice trembling with hope and fear. "It's yours," she had whispered in his private chamber, tears streaming down her face. "Our child." Leo's skin had flushed black, the color of anger and denial among his people. "Impossible. Humans cannot carry Valorian offspring. You have been with someone else. I swear on everything. Silence!" His voice had shattered the air like thunder. "You will not disgrace my name with these lies. Leave my sight before I have you executed for treason." Mia had been banished to the servant quarters, her pregnancy monitored by medical drones who viewed her as a biological anomaly. The other human servants whispered behind her back, some offering sympathy, others believing the Emperor's denial. After all, what was a human compared to the word of an emperor? 6 months later, Mia went into labor in a sterile medical bay deep beneath the palace. The Valorian physicians had been fascinated by her pregnancy, treating her more like a science experiment than a patient. The birth was excruciating. Hybrid children, they discovered, were larger than normal human babies, their bones denser, their energy signatures already pulsing with strange power. When the baby finally emerged, the medical bay fell silent. The child was beautiful in a way that transcended species. Her skin was a soft lavender, clearly Valorian but with human smoothness. Her tiny fingers had the right number of digits, 5, not the Valorian 6, but they glowed faintly with bioluminescence. Her cries echoed with a harmonic frequency that made every Valorian in the room instinctively bow their heads in recognition of royal blood. But it was her eyes that changed everything. Newborn Valorians were born with clouded, undeveloped eyes that took weeks to clear. Human babies had unfocused gazes that sharpened over months. This child opened her eyes immediately, and they were unlike anything in documented galactic history. One eye was deep violet with a double pupil, unmistakably Valorian and unmistakably royal, carrying the genetic marker of the Zarthus dynasty. The other eye was brilliant green, human in its warmth and depth, with a spark of something that looked like Earth's sun captured in living tissue. "Summon the Emperor," the head physician breathed. "Summon him now." Leo arrived within minutes, his retinue of advisors trailing behind him. He had been in the middle of a war council, planning an assault on a rebellious colony world. His skin was deep red with irritation at being interrupted. "This better be." His voice died in his throat as he saw the child in Mia's arms. Mia looked up at him, exhausted and defiant. She had stopped crying weeks ago. She had accepted that she would raise this child alone, that she would face the galaxy's judgment without him. But now, as he stared at their daughter, she saw something crack in his imperial facade. Leo approached slowly, his massive frame suddenly uncertain. He knelt beside the medical bed, bringing his face level with the tiny infant. The baby turned her head toward him, and when her mismatched eyes, one his, one Mia's, locked onto his face, something ancient and primal stirred in his chest. "She has the royal marker," the physician said quietly. "The genetic signature is unmistakable. This child is yours, Imperial Majesty. The first confirmed hybrid between Valorian and human, the first of her kind." Leo reached out with one clawed hand, and the baby grasped his finger with surprising strength. A pulse of energy passed between them, the recognition bond that Valorian parents shared with their offspring. It was undeniable, biological, beyond manipulation or lies. "What have I done?" Leo whispered, his voice breaking in a way that made his advisors exchange shocked glances. Emperors did not break. Emperors did not show weakness. He looked at Mia then, really looked at her, seeing not a servant but the mother of his child. The human woman who had endured his rejection, who had carried a pregnancy that could have killed her, who now held their impossible daughter with fierce protection in her eyes. Mia. He spoke her name for the first time in months. "Forgive me." She wanted to rage at him, to throw his cruelty back in his face. But she was so tired, and their daughter was making small cooing sounds, and Leo's skin had turned pale blue, the Valorian color of shame and remorse. "She needs a name," Mia said instead. Leo's eyes, all four of them, were fixed on the baby. "Nova," he said softly. "She will be called Nova, because she is the beginning of something the galaxy has never seen." He stood then, his full imperial bearing returning, but transformed. He turned to his advisors with his skin blazing gold, the color of royal decree. "Let it be known throughout the Empire, this child is my heir. She is Princess Nova Zarthus, and any who question her legitimacy will answer to me personally." He looked at Mia with something that might have been love, or might have been awe. "Her mother is to be elevated to imperial consort. Prepare the coronation chambers." The advisors erupted in protest, but Leo silenced them with a gesture that crackled with bioenergy. "Humans may be weak in your eyes, but they possess something we have bred out of ourselves, the ability to love beyond logic, to hope beyond reason, to create life where it should be impossible." He touched Nova's cheek with a gentleness that belied his warrior reputation. "This child proves that humanity's strength lies not in their bodies but in their spirit. And if our empire is to survive the coming darkness, we will need that strength." As Leo lifted both Mia and Nova in his arms, carrying them toward the imperial quarters, Mia finally allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, they could become the family she had dreamed of. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had just claimed its place at the center of the Empire, one impossible child at a time. And in Nova's mismatched eyes, both human and Valorian, the future looked bright.